make faces at each other. I studied American Sign Language.
I knew it at one point.
Anyone who listens to this show is a fucking loser anyway.
And we're back.
And we were live. Hot mic, hot mic.
All mics are hot.
Fucking scumbag audience.
All of a sudden you hear who is
Oh, it's live. We're up.
We're good.
Audio's up.
All right, are we back?
We're back.
We did a little audience appreciation during our little break. But we got a bunch of games today. We do have a day game. Braves and the Cubs. Max Fried is back. I guess we could start with that and just pivot to any game, any other games you guys like today. Josh, you want to start? Braves, Cubs, anything you like?
Yeah, for sure. I'm actually looking at that White Sox Guardians game. What's interesting is that like it got sharp money, so all on the Sox, and that's where all the value went. But I'm still taking Logan Allen. So I'm going Logan Allen over 17.5 outs, and I'm going Logan Allen over 5.5 Ks. So I'm looking at like he's been better. He had a bad outing against the Sox, like a different Sox team, like a week and a half.
And then the Sox won like 7-1 for like the first division win they've had in a decade.
Right. They took 2 of 4 from the Guardians in that one, but Allen didn't look good either. But in that one, he still went to 6 innings. He's gotten in 6 Ks in 4 of his last 5, and you get I got plus money on it, plus 115 on DraftKings. That was like an hour and a half ago, so I imagine it hasn't changed too much. For plus money there, but the White Sox are now striking out the 4th highest rate against lefties because I'm not really sure who's in their lineup. Maybe
and we don't have Jake Berger anymore, who can hit doubles and go yard off left-handed pitching. So yeah, we're pretty screwed with that lineup.
Yeah. But I'm scared of the money line now. I was gonna go money line for the Guardians too, but then like I realized that that anybody sharp betting that was putting their money on the White Sox at like plus 155 when they were moving that line. Is it even at that anymore? Because they were definitely moving that line.
Oh my God, that was great.
It was such a great day yesterday.
Zero fun was had on my end, I'll tell you that.
Well, let's dive into that.
If you can't tell by the fucking White Sox jersey I'm wearing, yeah, it was zero fun for me. On the other side of town, though, Cubs might be the hottest bats in baseball. They've been scoring more runs than anybody else out there. That said, they get the Braves today at home in Wrigley. I do have a play for that one. I'm taking Kyle Hendricks under 17.5 outs. I got plus 105 over on DraftKings for that. Hendricks, he has been pitching well lately. He's been over this line in his last 3 games, but at home, Hendricks does have a lot of trouble. He's only gone over 17. He's only pitched into the 6th twice this season, twice last season. That's 4 times in two seasons at Wrigley. He struggles at Wrigley. He a lot of times only goes 5 or gets pulled halfway through the 5th. I know the pen is a little tired for the Cubs here. He just really struggles to keep the ball in the yard at Wrigley. So I'm taking the under on outs on Hendricks. I was looking at trying to do a little maybe a little parlay action. I did like the line on Max Fried. Minus 140 is pretty heavy juice for me, even though it is only 4.5 Ks. He has been pitching better since he came back from injury. So
over or under?
What's up?
Over or under?
Over. I was looking at over. It was 140 when I was looking, and then I was looking to kind of pair it with, Cubs to score 2 runs, just something juiced that I liked in the game to get a little reverse correlation. But as soon as I went into same game parlays, I was getting like minus 175 on 5 Ks for Fried. So I just didn't see a ton of value there trying to pair that in a same game parlay when the odds took that much of a dive. So I'm just going to stick with Hendricks under 17.5 outs at plus 105.
Yeah, I lean Atlanta here. It's up to like minus 190 some spots. These 20-cent lines in baseball, like it's so important. It's rare and rare to find dime lines in baseball. It makes such a difference, especially over the long haul. But I don't know. The 4.5 Ks for Fried would scare me. This is his first start of the season, right?
Is it? I thought he had one start before this, but I could be wrong.
It wasn't in the majors. He hasn't pitched in the majors in a
Okay.
while, so he has been hurt, and that always makes me nervous.
Yeah.
He's 2-1 on the year, but he hasn't pitched since, I don't know, we'll find it, but he's been out a while, so that would make me nervous. Yeah, he hasn't pitched since May 5th, so I can't play over 4.5 Ks on a guy who hasn't pitched since May 5th. He's been built up in the minors enough where you figure you get at least 4 or 5 innings out of him. They wouldn't rush him back to the majors, especially in the position they're in. But I don't know. I'm just nervous coming off an injury. If I had to play a game here, I didn't give it out. I didn't bet it. I would probably take over 4.5 team total for the Braves. I know the wind is blowing in Wrigley, and that's always a big thing handicapping Cubs games. But this is still the Braves lineup. This is still Kendricks who's throwing the ball. Hendricks who's throwing the ball 85 miles an hour. I feel like they'll get to Hendricks here. He's had bad numbers against the Braves for his career, so I'm with you on the outs, and I would just play the over here for Braves team total.
Wow, look at that. I'm on the Braves as well, in a different angle. First 5 over 2.5 runs. All the great things you guys said about Hendricks is the exact same reason why I'm on there as well.
Damn.
All right. Anything else you guys want to get to here in baseball? I got.
Should we just be blindly fading the Mets now? They have a different David Robertson going on the mound against Kramer.
David Peterson.
Yeah, a different one.
What do you mean?
Aren't you on the,
I always get mixed up with David Robertson, is why I was saying it. They have different Davidson.
I did sleeper for MLB too. I forgot to send it in the chat.
What you got?
I did Merrill Kelly over 16.5 pitching outs. And then I did Freddie Freeman over 1.5 total bases. It pays almost even money. It's a good way for me to get Merrill at a cheaper price.
Nice.
Yeah. Go ahead, Burrows.
I was going to say, Will, aren't you on the over out in Colorado?
I'm on a bunch of things. I like the over at Colorado. It was 9.5, and I looked at it. I was like, oh, that's an over. I really like Wainwright against Flex, and Wainwright's been awful. Yeah. Flexen hasn't been any better. It moved to 10. You can get it 9.5 and minus 20 for Rivers. I just don't want it to land on 10 and miss out on a win. So I don't mind the extra 20 cents. To me, this is 11-8 written all over it.
I was going to say, I might ladder those totals.
Yeah, I don't hate that. Maybe some homer same game parlays for those of you guys that like to do that.
I know.
Yes, run first inning. I mean, you name it. I think this is going to be a lot of offense, a ton of offense.
I'm so glad you said that, because that's something that I'm planning on laddering the totals to 10, 11, 12. Like, we'll see what 13 is, and then there's some home runs that are still like, there are a lot of plus 500, plus 600. That's the lowest for a home run in that game that I saw. So that means there's legitimately there's 11-1 for a couple guys. So it might be worth you throw $10 on a couple of different guys if you feel good about them. Playing the numbers. But other than that, just runs. Yeah.
If you guys don't have anything else to get to, I mean, how do you not fade Luis Severino? I know the Astros lost to the Yankees. The Yankees somehow, as bad as they've been, they're only 2.5 out of a playoff spot, which is hard to believe. But how do you not fade Severino? Severino's been awful. I like under 4.5 Ks at plus money. Under 5.5 is juiced at 157. I mean, you got to figure they have a really short leash on it. This is still a team that's in the mix. He has been so bad. I don't know if he's fully healthy. So to me, he's going to have a really, really short leash. I like any under strikeouts here on Severino.
He did manage to get to 5 Ks, even though he gave up 7 runs in his last start and got yanked pretty early. They did leave him in there to get hit around a lot. I like that under 5.5 with not to record a win. I think Krusty Cage was on that last time he pitched, and it cashed. So I like that. I like Severino not to record a win. You could probably pair that over on Caesars to knock off a little bit of that juice on 5.5 if that's still available there on Caesars. But a lot of books don't really let you same game parlay those, so you kind of got to figure out where you can take that line.
Right. Anything else, Brad, Josh? Any other games catch your eye? I'm trying to think what else I like here.
I will have something later for what game was that? Now I'm just drawing a blank. Jesus. All right, you skip me.
Can I throw something? I'm like I'm still debating because I'm lukewarm, but the Tigers and Rays fading Zach Littell, and
I think he's just an opener, right?
He's just an opener.
I mean, their bullpen's been bad lately.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, wait, if you guys are playing the bullpen game still, then that's
I don't think that's accurate. I don't think that's accurate
What's
saying the
that?
Rays bullpen has been bad.
Well, sorry, bad
I
for them. Like, normally it's like top 5. They're in the middle of the
Yeah.
pack. They're like 13th, 14th in terms of like,
Ye
total bullpen output. So
Yeah, that's but like what I'm saying is like if you look at it like you just take everyone in the bullpen on all the games combined, they're bad. But the Rays like strategically like deploy their bullpen like when they're having shit outings and just let a guy ride. Like they'll let a guy go 50, 60 pitches deep if he's sucking and they're already getting destroyed. Like in that
right. That's fair.
Astros game, like 2 of their guys pitched 50 and 60 pitches and gave up a ton of runs. Like, because that's just they don't want to burn other arms. They just let it ride.
But if they have to get, I think that's kind of my point though too. Is if that's their game and it's sort of hit or miss, and they're minus 130 in the first 5, for instance. Like if you think Hotel's going to go 5, I don't know. The even money backing Reese Olson against a lineup that's also been bottom like pretty bad for the last the last couple of weeks. It's been like bottom like 5, 6 in terms of like WRC plus and WOBA and things like that. And then honestly, the second half of this season at this point, last couple months, even right there, their offense has just like been like 20th or so in a lot of these different important hitting statistics. So like I think Reese Olson might be able to have a little bit of success against them. I'm just looking at like a money line that I like don't really agree with. I mean, I wish I was getting more juice on the Tigers, to be honest, by just taking the money line. But even just sort of backing Reese Olson first 5 money line is even money. Either of those.
I think the Tigers get destroyed.
Brad, hot. I like it. I like it.
I don't like betting on or for the Rays because it gives me extra emotional baggage, like losing money and they lose. So I don't do that. Like I don't have any bets on them, but it's just one of those situations where I just think that I'm not like a Reese Olson guy either, too. Like that kind of turns me off on the Tigers as well.
I don't mind him. I think he's decent, but to me, the Rays are just on a different level. Yeah, I mean, I would lean Rays here. Nothing I bet. It does look a little cheap, man. Especially
too cheap, yeah.
Right.
Robert,
what I'm saying is I want to bet it, but I want it at like plus 140, and I'm not getting it for the Tigers. Yeah. So
Robert Beard threw out Severino's over 2.5 ERA.
Over and runs.
What's the line on that?
It's a good point. And what book is that? That's not a bad look at all.
That's really not a bad look. In front of me. Give me a second and pull it up.
My only slight concern with that would be like, oh, he gives up 2 runs in the first and they yank him, but that's probably
not
going to happen. Yeah. The first is a little quick.
He's gone he's only gone 2 a couple of times though.
Right, but those are when you're only going a few, he's giving up a lot of runs. Right. Yeah. I like that bet. No, I'm just playing devil's advocate. I like that bet.
Earned runs minus 150 for over 2.5.
Yeah. Of course, use Pickett to shop around, but yeah, just directionally.
Why don't you just take Astros? Why don't you take Astros first 5 minus 2 unless you think Severino's going deep? It's a better price.
Well, because if Stros don't hit.
Yeah, I think people are just looking to isolate their handicap as much as possible. And hey, I want to fade Severino. I don't care what the Astros do on offense. I'm looking to just strictly fade Severino, which I don't hate either one. I don't mind backing the Astros. I don't mind fading Severino. I don't mind a little of each. So I'm all for any of it.
Is there a book? I'm looking on FanDuel. On DraftKings, you can't same game parlay like a pitcher result. You can't say win or no win for them. You can't even just say yes win.
You can't same game parlay it. You can over on Caesars though.
Caesars, okay. Yeah.
So if you can get the over 2.5 earned runs or the under Ks on Caesars, you can parlay that with him not to record a win.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? I know you're on a couple of guys here are on the Braves. You think the Cubs stay hot with Fried coming off an injury? Over their team totals over 3.5. I think it's only juiced to like minus 115, minus 120. Cubs are over that in 8 of their last 10. They're the best offense in baseball right now. We got the afternoon game coming up. I know people like to hear a bunch of different angles on that. So,
dude, they're the best offense. So far, they're the best offense in baseball and the best offense in the NFL after one game. They have like as many runs as there were points scored in that game over the last like 2 or 3 days. They had like 42 runs in the last like 3 games or something stupid.
Crazy. Yeah, that's funny.
I'm playing the long game here with those Cubbies. You know what I mean? That's why I got my 325 on them with the Will Hill Sportsbook. So I'm kind of just like eyeing them from afar, being like, I don't need to like get into the nitty gritty of when they're winning and losing, as long as I see their value keep going in my way. Basically,
taking 3 off Reds was huge.
Yeah, 3 in a row too, and the Reds had a bunch of leads in some of those games. They just they can't pitch. I've said this a few times about the Reds where it's like, oh, they had a little bit of a cold streak. You worry if this is it, if they're running like the Cinderella in the NCAA tournament, running out of steam. But every time they bounce back, but they need to bounce back again because these are 3 bad losses. And they're, man, I wouldn't be
Dude,
shocked if the Cubs won the division. I really wouldn't.
Yeah, but the thing about the Reds too is like I'm just salty that like we were talking about them at like, hey, you can get them right now at like 60-1 to win the division.
Right.
LA's not up yet. It was like 80-1 and we just kept talking about it. We talked about the NL Central like every show. I never hit it, and then all the value was gone. I was so pissed. I was like, screw it. Let me figure out how to bet on the Cubs then.
I have a small bet 40-1, but I don't think it's going to get home. It's it's dangerous. Is I had the 40-1. I think it was
the time was to buy out right before the series with Milwaukee.
I did though, but here's what I did. I had 40-1, I think, to win like 1,500. I was like, all right, let me start betting Milwaukee to win the division. So I'm betting Milwaukee to win the division. Oh fuck, now I got the Cubs here. So I got Cubs at 6-1. So now I'm just like, I don't even know.
So now you're way out of pocket on hedging.
No, I mean, when you get 6-1 and 40-1, there's a lot of wiggle room here. So I at least got in at the right times, but I did take a decent chunk of Milwaukee. I think like minus 105 or something, where I got to go through the math. Like, what's the best result for me? I'm not going to get buried either way, but that's just dangerous when you have a big division ticket. Like, I know a lot of people have the Orioles at huge numbers and like, oh, I'm going to take the Rays at hedge. And like the Blue Jays were in the mix. They're not so much anymore. That's always a little bit of a danger when there's that third team in the mix.
Yeah. It's nothing.
Anything else baseball wise? You guys want to talk? Is there soccer? Soccer's not tonight, right?
I have a soccer game that starts in 30 minutes.
All right, go for it.
Cup match between Feyenoord and PSV. I went with Feyenoord, and I'll explain why I ended up going there, right? So we look at the money line is plus 115. I like both teams to score in over 2.5 goals for anybody who wants to play it safer. But if we want to talk realistically, which of these two teams is set up the best to score the second goal, it's going to be Feyenoord. They're even priced as so at minus 120. If they score 2 goals, they likely win this game, which if you're just playing the odds versus each other, it's minus 120 for them to score 2 goals, minus 120 for both teams to score and over 1.5 goals, plus 115 for them to win. I don't think that this is a PSV team, at least not now. They got to for where that's going to be scoring 2 goals on a team like on Feyenoord. They have a ways to go. They lost a lot of people. They bring in Noah Lang, who I think will be better for this team, but there's still some of that chemistry that they got to get together. So it's more of a money play. Like, sure, dudes, if you guys really believe that PSV is going to score 2 goals, go ahead and take both teams to score in over 2.5 goals. If you want to be safer, but for me, it's more value to take Feyenoord to win this. And I'm not guaranteed Feyenoord scoring 2 goals either, guys. Feyenoord could grind this. If they want to grind this out and win this 1-0, it could happen.
These are normally really high scoring matches.
Yeah. Is it likely? No.
It's the cup game. Both of these offenses are usually really high powered. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I wasn't saying that that's going to happen. I'm not saying play the under. I'm saying if there was a situation where that would happen, I still get covered in my bet where it's plus 115 for the money line as well.
For sure. So I go a little contrarian, man. You're not worried about Ricardo Pepe coming off the bench and tying this game up 2-2. Like Pepe over on PSV comes in, scores the game tying goal, goes into some PKs. I'm with you. I like both teams to score over 2.5 here. I am going to play it a little more conservatively. I'm hoping, I like the addition of Lang from Bruges. I think Pepe coming off the bench, especially if he gets a little early sub, gets a couple of runs in him. He's a big target. He's a big boy. He gets off Augsburg onto a team that's much more offensive and is going to play to his style. I think he has a nice season coming here for PSV. So I like this game a lot. I think there should be goals. I'm okay with playing the juice on both teams to score over 2.5.
How about the World Cup? We do have a few games. Man, these times just suck.
They suck so bad.
Saturday morning, so 1:00 Eastern, I guess tonight. Spain, Switzerland. Spain's a big favorite. Norway, Japan. Japan's a big favorite to advance. And then tomorrow it's Netherlands, South Africa. Do anything for you guys in terms of these games at all?
I'll just put it this way. Like, I have no action on any of these, but if woulda, coulda, shoulda, I'd probably play Switzerland on the goal line. You probably can get plus 1.5 for around minus 130. Man, No, never mind. I thought that was Japan draw no bet. I would take that, but no, it's minus half. I would pass on that. Netherlands, I'd probably just take -2 to get plus money over minus 1.75, just because I don't want to take no offense, a women's soccer game for -1.5 at minus money. I mean minus 1.75 at minus money. So you'd want them to win by 2 pushes, and it's going to be plus money. Those are the 3 games. And we'll be back in time to talk about the USA game.
No, it's Sunday morning.
Oh, USA game. Man, I'm probably taking double chance here. What's the double chance price? 155 is a little sketchy.
Women's World Cup's been full of upsets. So I haven't been betting it, but we saw some huge upsets here in the Women's World Cup, which is a little surprising just because the competitive balance has been pretty lopsided. But we're seeing a lot of countries starting to catch up here. I'm going to continue not playing it just because it is a difficult one to handicap.
You have to watch a lot of women's club soccer to be good, to be honest.
Right.
And I don't.
And outside of Barcelona women's and Wolfsburg women's, I can't name you a ton of soccer players.
Yeah.
Mia Hamm is pretty good. Anything futures wise, do you guys think has value right this moment? Forget anything you bet. England's 3-1. I'm just looking at Bet Rivers. Maybe these odds vary. Shop around, use Pickett. England 3-1, Spain plus 450, US plus 450, France 7-1, Japan 8-1, Netherlands 12-1, Australia 13-1, Sweden 20-1. I know Brad's Colombia at 50-1 is down to 28-1. Norway's 80-1. I guess I'll just stop there.
Let's go.
Anything that right now you would play at these numbers?
I wouldn't play the U.S.
No.
the way they've been playing. I'll tell you that right now. They might.
Who would you?
No, I think the U.S. had to play someone. Can you give me 3 seconds to pull up the bracket?
Yeah.
All right, 3 seconds to pull up the bracket. Let's see. Had to play at this price. They avoid them. They get Jamaica or Colombia. I would probably say if I had to play something, I would go Netherlands at 11-1. Or you can't play both. Or England at 3-1. Netherlands have a really good draw. They have to play if they get past Spain, right? Then I think Netherlands can beat the United States. We saw how tough they played against them. They get past Spain, right?
They have 1-1 draw. It was a grinded out game. Yeah, the U.S. just looked bad. They look like they took notes from the men's national team.
My only problem with England is they just play they potentially have to play a bunch of, what are they called? I don't want to say vibes, momentum teams. They play a bunch of momentum teams, and the winner of Colombia, Jamaica is going to be a momentum team. Nigeria is a momentum team. That's a big game for Nigeria. I don't like situations like that when I'm getting 3-1 where they could be eliminated in the quarters. But they've looked really good. So at 3-1, it makes sense.
Brad, we were texting about this earlier in the week or last week. Sociedad, you like that signing of Silva to play over Ali Cho? I know we were talking about Sociedad to finish top 4 futures over in La Liga. I know it's a 10-month season, and some people hate tying up their money that long, but you get what, plus 250, plus 300, plus 400 on Sociedad to be finishing top 4 this season. I think they got the defense to do it. They have some really nasty center backs. They got a good midfield. You still got Orzabal out there, and you still got Kubo, which I think is great on the wings. Yes, you lose Sorloth, and he goes to Villarreal, which is kind of a blow. But I think Ali Cho has a breakout season this year. I really like the young French kid. I don't hate the move of bringing in Silva to kind of test him and make him prove himself to earn his minutes, because I don't really rate Silva. I call him Portuguese Morata. He misses way too many in front of the net. So, yeah, I think Ali Cho has a little bit of a breakout season here, and I think Sociedad's going to be dangerous in La Liga.
I like that. Go ahead, Will.
No, finish your thing. I was just gonna say before we bounce, just
I like that.
on the
Where you said
golf.
the breaking news.
Breaking news.
Breaking news: Oregon just announced Oregon and Washington are joining the Big Ten.
Oh, I can't keep up with this shit.
The Pac-12.
What is there? 18 teams in the Big Ten now.
College football just completely sold their soul. All this NIL stuff. There's just no tradition. There's no whatever. And as long as we can bet on the games, I don't really care. But it's really it's taken a chunk out of like the charm of the sport, where it's like there's just no. I don't even know who's in what conference anymore or who's going where. It's very hard for even me to keep track of. I can imagine like the average fan has no idea who's in what conference. So it's gonna
be really annoying.
Put that on NIL though. That's the schools doing a terrible job. That's NCAA doing a bad job. That's conferences doing a bad job.
I think it's the whole model. No, I think it's just the whole model though of now, like, you know, it used to be basically the NCAA was unpaid labor. Now that's going out the window and this donor money is going to the kids instead. Like there's just it's just completely different. It's just completely different.
Yeah, and I just, I don't know if I'm ready to blame that on NIL, because I'm for NIL. I like the kids getting something, but yeah, I think that's the school, that's the conference, that's TV money, and it sucks, but that's why we watch. It's on TV. Like if they don't have TV contracts, what are they doing?
Right. It's tough. It is tough though. Like when, some of the traditions, like you just like UCLA's in the Big 10 now. Like some of this stuff, it I don't know.
Yeah.
College
I
is
agree
tradition.
with you. The fact that there's 4 West Coast teams in the Big 10 now is a little ridiculous.
Well, so what they're gonna do, they wanted to get more West Coast teams in there. What they're gonna do is 2-week sessions. So like, if you're Ohio State football and you're Ohio State, well, I don't know I'm going to use golf. I don't know what the seasons are, right? But you're Ohio State football and Ohio State golf. That's golf's not a good example. Let's use wrestling. Ohio State wrestling. You're going to play West Coast and you're going to stay over there for 2 weeks. You're going to have one game 1 week, next game the next week. So they're trying to charter together, have them stay out, make West Coast trip once every 2 weeks. I mean, stay out there for one trip, fly there, wait 2 weeks, fly back home. But it also starts to become weird because I feel like they stop prioritizing school. Like you're just gonna be on the West Coast for 2 weeks, like.
Yeah. So are you still an amateur athlete? Like, what's going on here? Like, is this really this is just the NFL's minor league system? So when's the NFL gonna start kicking these guys some money? Because that's what this is. This is unpaid NFL minor league system for college football.
Yep. Right. Well, Adam, the Pac-12 hasn't gotten a team in since the first 2 seasons, so we knew Oregon's chances were none either way.
I think they're going to be pretty good this year, though. I don't know if they're going to be good enough to get in, but
they're not going to be good enough to get in. They lost
they lost
3 starters on the offensive line. That's hard to replace. They have to play against Washington. They have 3 teams in their division that could all in their conference that could all win 9-10 games. They're just going to beat the shit out of each other. That's the problem, like with the Pac-12.
I still think they're going to be good on offense. That receiver's really good. Like Bo Nix in his 13th year at college has got a lot of experience.
Yeah, but where would you? Okay, they're going to be good on offense. Where do you rate them in the Pac-12? I'd have them the 3rd best offense in the Pac-12.
Yeah, I don't know. You know this stuff more than me. I'm just getting into it. Like I'm just starting my prep a little bit, but I do think they'll be good. I don't know if they'll be good enough, but
they'll be good. That's the problem, though. Like
here's the thing: what number would you give me on them to make the playoffs? What's a fair number? What is their number to make the playoffs? Josh is in my pocket. Might as well you get my pocket too.
Yeah, but they're not making the playoffs. I don't know. Think of a number.
Not making the playoffs.
Think of a number. We'll look it up.
All right.
We'll play it. But I just say like Washington was number 1 team EPA per pass in the entire country. They have the best wide receiver core outside of Ohio State. Michael Penix is back year 2 of DeBoer. Then you have USC with the best player in the country, who has Mario Williams, who's going to be another great stud. They lose Addison, but
100 to 1.
USC. They lose Addison.
They're 100 to 1 to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Is that real?
I would assume. Oh no, it's a joke. Never mind.
It's easy.
It's definitely not 100 to 1.
No, they're probably like 5 or 6 to 1. Let's see.
To make the CFB playoff?
Yes.
They're probably 5 or 6 to 1.
They're still only doing 4 teams, right?
I could check in like 30 seconds. Here,
it's not on DraftKings. I can't find it on DraftKings.
Yeah, let's see. College
Maybe
football.
Sam can look it up. I don't know. Maybe
USC is
I'm
like
trying to-
plus 200, so I imagine they're probably plus 6 or plus 700. I'd guess if USC is plus 200 to make the playoffs. Let's see. College football futures to make the playoffs should be really easy to find. They are 6-1. Bingo. 6-1. What a good shout, Brad. Do math.
Let's see if I can find a better number here. I can only find
Is Colorado in the Pac-12 yet, or is that another season away?
That's not happening yet.
Okay.
Not happening yet.
How about Notre Dame?
Where did you find that number, Brad, before he bounced?
They're on FanDuel. You got to go to college NCAF. I think they have it listed. Futures go all the way down, and then go to make the playoffs. Michigan's number hasn't changed yet. I'm probably going to be on Michigan. Yeah, scroll all the way down on the list.
I'm on NCAA futures. I only see Big 10, Big 12, MAC, Pac-12.
Keep scrolling. You don't have anything else?
No.
Like it's literally like the third.
No.
The fourth option.
That's weird. It might be a state thing.
It could be a state thing. That's really strange. Maybe I'll try a different way. No, I don't think it is. NCAA.
Notre Dame's plus 750 to make the playoffs. They have to play 5 top 35 offenses after having a defensive success rate of only like 30%. So unless they make drastic, their D line will be better, but unless they make drastic changes defensively, they're not stiff in this playoffs. I'd make them like 12-1.
Yeah. All right, boys. Somebody wants to know, is there value on Clemson to win the ACC with FSU potentially leading at plus 150? To me, that's a toss-up. What do you think, Brad?
FSU wouldn't leave this year. It's how high you rate Cade
FSU all the time.
He stinks. He killed me in that Tennessee bowl game. God, he stunk.
Yeah, he's so bad. I like FSU this year. FSU had rate out high in EPA. They rate out high in, if you want to look at PFF grades, they return, I think, the highest total production on offense and defense. They have a top 5 wide receiver core and probably a top 7 running back room. So it's hard for them to be bad. Like, it's just difficult.
They love getting injured in the first week of the year, though. They just love to have 3 guys blow a knee in game 1.
Bob, Washington to win the Pac-12 is a cool bet with me. They'll once again have the number 1 team in EPA offense, probably per pass. Their receiver core is freaking stacked. If you want to bet Penix to win the Heisman, you probably should now. The number in the past, when did I tell you guys I was betting Penix? I think he was at 18-1. It's already, I think that was 2 weeks ago. I think he's down to 13-1 now. And I haven't even got my article out yet, so I'm not going to end up betting him at 13. But if you like him, you should. 18 was great. It was a gift, but I'm not going to bet him at 13.
All right, boys. We can wrap on that. Good show. Covered a lot. We'll be back Monday, 1 o'clock Eastern. Thank you to Burroaks, Josh, Brad. Thanks to Sam. We'll see you guys Monday. Thank you, Sleeper and Pickett. Good luck with all your plays. Enjoy your weekend. Be back Monday.